Hello everyone, welcome. Oh, help if I actually turn that around so I can see the screen. Hello and welcome to basically just a little chat all about Dragoon 3, or if it comes to America, Drakengard 3. Now to just get out of the way, who knows if this title will make it to America. Ubisoft published Drakengard 2, yeah, right there, for America. I don't even know if they came out in Europe. But, though Square Enix did give Neo a chance in America, it sadly did not meet very good sales and such. So, there was a chance that Square Enix may skip over America. Luckily, it'll be on the PS3, so I will definitely import it if it is not going to be American release. So, that's not going to be an issue for me. It will be a shame because I won't be able to understand the story to its fullest. But basically, we're here to talk about the trailer and all the information that we know about Dragoon 3 right now. Or Drakengard 3. There are two main story characters. The main one has a dragon and her younger sister. This is apparently going to be a prequel to everything, and I'm very suspicious about the presence of the Watcher's origins being in this as well. Because after all, that is something that the whole series as a whole has never truly explained. What are the Watchers exactly? The Watchers. Or the grotesque, to be more specific, I guess. The grotesque's origins and such are still much mystery within the series, only known as strange, godlike creatures. I really feel like the information provided for Dragoon 3 leaves a lot of suspicion that's going to explain the origins of the grotesque. The reason is, basically they talk about, there was a great war long ago and shit, and then these godlike creatures came down that were like angels, beautiful women who basically brought peace in that, or something like that. You do have to be aware, this is all coming from Japanese sources, so translation, information, interpretation, all up in the air, but that's the general gist of the opening, I understand. So I'm curious if these creatures might actually be the original forms of the grotesque myself. But basically, the main character is an older female. Well, not like really old. She has an appearance of probably like 25 or that. One thing that's immediately odd is she has a flower growing out of her eye. Her younger sister is much younger. Apparently, the older sister is very perverted and very violent, while the younger one is more intelligent, thought-provoking, and such. So, they're opposites to each other personality. Something that kind of seems to be borrowing from like, say, Dynasty Warriors, that some of the Dynasty Warrior games that allow you to have, like, gods with you, like god ninjas and stuff. Basically, it seems Dragoon 3 will be having a similar concept. Well, the main lead character, she has multiple male men that she has relationships with. Basically, you can go to the field with her. This could be very interesting in a lot of customization, since I would be sure that all the people probably fight differently, and assuming you can change equipment and stuff with them, this could involve a lot of nice strategy, since it is a hack and slash. You do have a dragon still, as I mentioned. It is unrelated. It is unknown whether the dragon has a pact with the main character or not. The series, aside from Neo, well, technically Neo kinda does have a pact in it, but it's more subtle, to be honest. But Drakengard 1 and 2 have a huge involvement with pacts with creatures and humans, so it would seem kind of odd if there were no pacts at all, unless it sets up an origin story for how pacts began, possibly, as well. So far, the little gameplay that's been shown does not look disappointing. It probably, since Neo is also an action hack and slash, but it's not the same exactly as Drakengard. It's more of a more combat oriented, where Drakengard had a lot of different elements of flying. I had like a Panzer Dragoon mode and such, and flopping between those modes and crawling around dungeons. Neo was more just the on foot experience of it, and it had an interesting magic system that kind of gave it a weird schmuck feel. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if they take some of the elements from Neo and put them in Dragoon 3. The combat system may be heavily influenced by Neo, the on-ground combat. That would actually be much superiorly improved combat on foot, along with the Panzer Dragoon modes. The trailer did show on the Dragon ocean battles shooting a ship on the sea, which I don't remember any stages like that in either 1 or 2. All the Panzer Dragoon Pacific like levels were in the sky, and when you were in the levels where you could be on the dragon or on foot, nothing would ever be in the water. So that could lead to some more interesting forms of combat, but overall we don't know a whole lot still. All we know is it is going to come out this year supposedly for Japan. Who knows what that means for American release, because then that means by then all the next-gen consoles will be out, and sadly that means there is a chance that people are going to treat older consoles like the PSP. However, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the PS3 is going to suffer PS2 syndrome, where when the PS4 comes out, people aren't going to adapt to it as quickly as it was like. People stuck with the PS2 for a long time until multiple price drops of the PS3. I'm pretty sure that kind of syndrome is going to perhaps happen again. But then again, you have to also take a note that the PS4 is launching cheaper than the PS3 launched. So that is also something important to note. So it's really hard to say how people will adapt to the console and how it may hurt or still help chances of a localization of Dragoon 3. So far, the graphics look very good. As far as I understand, the composer of Neo is returning for this title. The song in the trailer sounds really nice. So far, it's just looking like it's shaping good, and I'm really happy to hear that Drakengard 3 is being made and it's going to come out this year for Japan. But I would be more happy to hear that if the English version will be made. And it seems to really be keeping a lot of the weird taboo-ness of the series while having very diversitized characters, some disturbing and others just odd. I mean, like I said, the main character has multiple relationships with guys that fight for her, so obviously that's questionable, especially by a race that's being considered godlike. So that's possibly what's the term I'm looking for? Kind of like heretic, I guess. I don't know. How would you call a godlike creature? I don't know. Overall, though, it's looking good. It's looking good, but I am really, really concerned about a chance of a localization of the game. Obviously, the taboo stuff has always been tricky. I mean, they've always very settled or completely censored the strange taboo things of certain characters. And it's questionable how much might, if it did get localized, how much they might mess with it. You know, different things are more accepted than other things, so overall, I would just encourage people to talk about Dragoon more, and possibly maybe even drop by the Facebook and stuff, Square Enix's Facebook, and ask and show that people are interested in a Western English localization of the game. I really hope there was a chance of it, but I'm also kind of afraid because Square Enix has shown lots of times they're also not willing to really do risks so too often anymore these days. So it's really questionable what they'll do. We can only show that we're interested and hope for the best. But those are my thoughts about Drakengard 3 Dragoon so far. As said, there isn't a whole lot of information. They mostly talked a lot about the characters and a little about the setting. The gameplay trailer for the game is like some of the first real footage of it so far. So, while I remember one of the creators said it's like about 70% done of that, it's being released near the end of the year, so it's still got some time. So, we can only hope for the best, really, for localization. So those are my thoughts on Dragoon 3. And if you have any questions, thoughts, or any of your personal ideas or things about, leave a comment. I love to talk to you about it. So anyway, hopefully we'll hear more good news about Dragoon. So peace out.